Listen, I got this right here. It's a yodeling pickle. I'm gonna. I think that's pretty cool.
You know, in this
That's
time
a-
of hardship and
it's-
uncertainty.
Sometimes it's a yodeling pickle what you really need in life.
That's the key to all your problems.
That's it. That's the intro to the show. Hi guys, welcome to the AWKWARDCast.
Sorry, I wasn't ready, so...
Oh yeah, the AWKWARDCast doesn't start till Max says it does. He is our omnipotent god here.
No, the problem is that I'm the one who has to click the live button. But I guess if you are forcing my hand here, it's not up to me to stop it. So, hello and welcome everybody to the AWKWARDcast. I am sorry, I'm still working to make the chat visible. So I hand over the lead to Key to introduce and welcome our beloved guest.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to the AWKWARDcast. ANY and Keyframe wander about random dribble. And today, while Max is playing Little Miss Techman, we have a new guest on the show. Welcome, Dave Capdevielle.
Close, but no cigar.
Dave, it's great to have you on the show. Who are you? What do you do? And why should people care?
Well, no one should care, but I'm Dave Capdevielle, and I do things that Dave Capdevielle does. I hate introducing myself with this stuff. It always feels so like self-indulgent.
This is the point.
Yeah.
I know. I usually do a bit where whenever I go on podcasts, when they ask me to plug myself, I just tell everybody to go follow Gary Busey on Twitter instead.
I already am. I beat you to the punch.
We're gonna be fast
I'm gonna follow
friends.
Gary Busey. He's the dude, man. Well, he's not the dude, but he's the dude.
He's the dude. Okay, I guess I'm Dave. I do a lot of different stuff on the internet.com. I don't know. Most people know me as the co-writer of Has Been Hotel. I'm co-creating a show with my friend Ashley called Farfetched. I do a lot of comedy and horror content, and I just make a bunch of stuff that gets a minimal amount of views, and they're like, that was funny, and then they move on with their life.
I mean, that's all good stuff. Don't we all want to just be funny and then people move on from us?
Wait, why is it still doing that?
I don't know.
Today is most professional show ever. It is an absolute disaster. Let me switch into studio mode.
Don't worry. Don't worry. I'll pad your time. Have you ever seen Gary Busey's cameo? It's fucking wild.
Yes, I have wanted to pay for it so badly, but the problem is it's extremely overpriced and he doesn't follow the script at all. So it's a complete gamble. It's like playing Russian roulette with your wallet. So
I think one of my favorites is he's playing guitar and just singing, and in the background on his bookshelf is just a bunch of copies of his book.
Like the Buseyisms,
and it's like laid flat, not like where you just see the spine, and it's great. There's
wonderful.
Despite his brain damage, there is a genius in there.
Oh, there absolutely is. I mean, a motorcycle can only do so much to a person.
True. He is the living embodiment of that meme where it's like, I lived, bitch.
Yeah. It's funny? It's like him and Mark Hamill went through the same exact thing, kind of. But Mark Hamill got through it real good. Mr. Busey did not. So...
Yeah, the worst Mark had to do is look like a Ken doll for a little while.
That's why at the beginning of Empire Strikes Back, they have the Wampa, like, punch him in the face. Is to make it so that it would make sense why Luke's face is messed up.
Huh.
I actually didn't know that. That is cool.
Yeah.
But I love going through Cameo and seeing who's on Cameo, because it's like some of them don't make sense. Like, there's a lot of congressmen on there? Who the fuck wants a cameo from your local Congress?
Listen,
Like-
I want Gavin
Yeah.
Newsom to read my funny Fortnite memes. That sounds like a good idea.
Fucking Anthony Scaramucci, that one Trump press aide that was there for 2 weeks, is on
Yeah.
there, and apparently a lot of people have gotten him. And it's his profile picture on there's a Bitmoji thing. It's just so.
I mean, I guess it's
You
just because
can-
they have nothing else to do. That's the
That's
only thing I
true.
can think of, and they're like, "Oh, I got an extra cash," even though they're like the quintessential person who does not need any more income.
Mm-hmm. My favorite one though is the Insane Clown Posse, which for $300 you can get the entire Insane Clown Posse to call you a bitch, and it's great because they have someone holding the camera and it just goes in and zooms in on both of them while they're in their like basement man cave studio, being like, "Hey, Jessica, Mark told me that you're a little bitch. Happy birthday." And this goes on for 5 minutes. You get your money's worth, and I'm
Talk
just
about
like,
talk about a
I
miracle.
love it. Uh-huh.
I have a story about Insane Clown Posse.
Do tell.
I went with Vivian Madrano, the creator of Has Been. We had gone to a convention in Chicago to do a panel for the show before the pilot had come out. And apparently at the convention, I forget which one, I think it was Violet J. One of the guys was there because his daughter was like really into the convention. And he was just like hanging around talking to people in the artist alley. So I saw just Insane Clown Posse at this convention. So there's a slight chance that ICP or Has Been fans, which would be probably the weirdest crossover I could think of.
Dude, they would fit so much. You can have them Vivi could get them as a cameo in their things. Like,
well, literally,
you
they can
think
just go
the
go on
Insane
cameo.
Clown Posse would not want to be a guest star and be demons in hell? Like, that
true.
would be sick. But yeah,
I have heard like 2 ICP songs in my life, and I was like, I mean, I get it if it's your thing, more power to you. It's just not my thing.
It's not my thing either. I've only heard the Magnet song, but I've heard that they're cool dudes. Like the guy, like I think it's Violet J, the one you were talking about. His daughter is like a fursuiter, and he fully supports it and bought her first.
Yeah, that's why it was the convention. She was there. It was like a furry convention that we were at. Yeah, and that's why she was there, because it was his daughter, which is really sweet. I mean, it's cool when it's a good dad like that.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of you when you're in your makeup, but out of your makeup, good dad award.
Well, that leads into something that I have coined as the Tarantino effect, which is when you can. There are 2 opposites of this. You can either like a creator but don't like their stuff, or vice versa. Like
that's actually a good effect.
I call it the Tarantino effect because I love Quentin Tarantino's movies, but I think he's an asshole as a person.
Oh, that's very true.
Yeah, that's like my coinage for that whenever you have that situation.
Okay. This is now the official setup for the show today. I am very sorry we don't have a chat. I don't know what's in there. I cannot even screen capture the chat. It's insane.
I will watch the chat. Watch the chat. So if they make fun of you, I will know.
Thank you. Very lovely. I will also have an eye on the chat. I don't know. This is a first. Once again, on Wednesday it still worked. It's probably a glitch in the Matrix.
Hey, look, we get the this is fine, dog.
Exactly,
it's fine.
Exactly. So big sorry to the to everybody in the chat. For
now
not
you can
being
finally
visible.
contribute to our show.
Yes, I am monotasking. I am sorry for that. So yeah, when I'm like, I am not here. But yeah, you already welcomed our guest, which is good.
Yes, and we talked about the Tarrant. Actually, he went through his drink.
Oh,
I'm all
already.
out.
You need to be
Wait,
more
for
prepared.
First, though, I want to ask Max, because this Tarantino effect's actually an interesting thing. What is someone that you like their work but don't like them as a person, or vice versa, where you like them as a person but you don't care for their work?
This is a good topic, honestly.
It really is. I'm trying to think of mine, because that's because I don't want to default to Tarantino, because that's such a good option.
Yeah, I mean,
the thing is that like I don't think Tarantino is a bad person. I just think he's an asshole. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
like,
because I mean, like when you find out the shit that he put the actors of Kill Bill through, it's like I can't respect you as a person.
But it's not gonna make me like dislike his movies any less. That's
oh yeah.
But yeah,
I'm gonna love him in his starring role in Muppets Wizard of Oz.
But for example,
that is the fucking best part of that garbage movie.
I don't know. Does modern day Will Smith count for the opposite? Like, I don't really care about what he does nowadays because he doesn't do too much, but he's a cool dude. I mean, I would chill with
that
Will
works.
Smith.
Modern Will Smith,
Does he still do stuff? I could swear he did something.
I mean, he did Gemini Man. I mean, he did Gemini Man recently, and Aladdin.
Oh yeah, he did Aladdin. He was a surprisingly best part
he was
of it.
great at
Did you ever see After Earth?
Genie.
I haven't seen it, but I heard so much horrible things. That's the thing.
It's such a weird vanity project. Like.
But yeah, I believe somebody I talked about with was like that Will Smith actually has like a complete like flip-flopping between fantastic and horrible projects. Like he does something where it's like, yeah, that's Will Smith, all right. Then he does an After Earth, and it's like, oh, Will, we know you can act. What are you doing? Then he does.
Okay, I got one.
Oh,
I got one. I don't know why this one didn't come to mind first. Love Adam Sandler as a person. I've heard he's a really sweet dude, treats everyone with respect. Apparently the crews on all of his sets are like, he is the nicest guy, make sure everyone's taken care of. 90% of his movies, since Billy Madison, are garbo.
Yeah.
But like, except for Uncut Gems,
it's funny you bring that up. It's funny you bring that up. Because I have seen Uncut Gems before, but my roommates, Michael, Ashley, and Jacob, none of them had ever seen it. We watched it last night, and the whole time it was just me like looking like this at them as I see just like the anxiety of attack of a movie play out before them. Oh my god, that movie's fucking. That's the thing. Adam Sandler, it's like that and Punch Drunk Love and 50 First Dates. He is good when he's playing serious roles. He sucks at comedy.
Like the third act of Click, like that is that's his best. But I'm terrified, and here's the reason why. Uncut Gems was snubbed so fucking hard during award season when it got it, and he made the threat that if Uncut Gems didn't get nominated for an Oscar, he would make a purposefully bad movie.
It will be a masterpiece.
You mean he hasn't been doing that for the last 20 years?
And that's what I was like. Okay, if these are your unintentionally bad ones, what's your worst?
Is that what Hubie Halloween was?
Oh no, we don't talk about Hubie Halloween in this household.
Listen, I'm just trying to think of like what could be worse than that. And what's funny is that like Adam Sandler is in a good Halloween-oriented thing with Hotel Transylvania, so it's like he can do it fine. So
yeah,
but also that's Gendy Tartakovsky, so
yeah, true. I don't know how you can get worse than That's My Boy. The movie where the best part of it is Vanilla Ice running.
And I love Andy Samberg too, so it's like he should have been able to save that movie.
But those two look suspiciously, so convincingly as dad and son. They look so similar.
I would love them to do Dad and Son. I would love them to do Dad and Son again, because they do look so much alike. Because whenever you get two celebrities being siblings, it's very hard to make it believable. But
then again, the thing is probably that they are too close in actual age that you can only sell them as super young dad and son.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I just don't know how you can. I just don't know how you can beat the movie that involves 90% of the plot, and like the big twist at the end that frees Andy Samberg is that his fiance is having an affair with her brother. I'm saying her, you're not hearing me.
Doesn't
Like,
the movie actually play this as a
incest-
happy end?
yes.
Incest
saves the day. Anyways,
I also have a hate the person, love the art. Kevin Spacey.
Oh,
I mean,
you know what?
on screen he is fantastic, but sadly we learned that
that's getting into territory of like a perfect. I saw this on the chat earlier, and I agree that Marilyn Manson, because I love Marilyn Manson's music, but he's done some really fucked up stuff, especially that's come to light recently. So it's like, I don't know.
Yeah, I watched Bug's Life recently because the minimal things that happened in my week is, you know, I watch a Pixar movie every time that I'm working on the puzzle that's in the living room, and I've been going in the order of first movie to that now because Pixar turned old this year.
Yeah.
And God, Kevin Spacey's so good as the villain in Bug's Life. Like, he's so. People need to rewatch Bug's Life because he's a really good villain. Like, everyone's like, "Oh, Syndrome! Syndrome is the top tier villain in Pixar." No, Hopper's pretty fucking scary, and
good.
it's just, and I'm just like, God, why did you have to be a shitty person?
I also I watched when I was temporarily during the pandemic. I was back with my parents in Louisiana. We started watching House of Cards, and he's really good in that too.
I know.
Like,
and he's great in Baby Driver, and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
Fuck
but it's
you,
like,
Kevin
Spacey.
Spacey.
Yeah, and then it's like, well, Edgar Wright can save anything, to be fair, but
true. But, man, this show has gone off the rails in the best way. I'm liking this conversation.
It does.
Well, I'm sorry it's not as awkward as it should be. Let's
hey,
start.
He said the thing.
Let's start making a ruckus. You see that? There you go. That's awkward now.
Oh my God, I was so scared of hearing a fucking ceramic break. But yeah, Dave, what's been going on recently? I mean, you've had a big move recently, so.
I did. I moved from the filthy South to the filthy West.
South.
Yeah. I moved from Louisiana back to California. I'm now in Northern California
temporarily
because right now the LA area is a cesspool of disease.
Oh,
so... I don't blame you. From LA County, you're making the right decision.
Yeah, because I lived in Burbank for about 2 years. And then I went home for a year for personal reasons, and then also like a whole lot of stuff. And then I came back, just but God, it's only been a week I've been here, to work on the show I'm developing with Ashley full time, which has been. It's honestly kind of exciting, just because like I don't really like small victories or big victories for me, because like. All I've wanted like my whole life is to be able to not have to work retail anymore and just work a job in a creative field that just pays the bills, and it's finally happening. And like this is like so and that's like all I've ever wanted. So, and maybe that's setting the bar extremely low that you can step over, but I mean I'm happy with it, I guess.
In this kind of world we're living in, it's a very healthy mindset to take every victory, as small or big, as what it is, which is a victory. And it's really cool that you get to do the thing you love as a living.
Yeah, and because most of I've worked, and I'm on and off retail jobs for about it's been like 8 or 9 years now, and most of that time I've worked as a butcher in a meat department, and I really liked my job because I liked the people I was with. But that was the main reason. I liked my employees; they were my friends. But it's something that like I knew I just didn't want to do forever. So But I mean, I
Yeah.
had that wonderful experience now. If I go on any dating website, it's like, oh, interests, horror movies, occupation, butcher. Yeah, that's a real win-win there.
I'll take a meat hook to your heart and make you fall for me.
Yeah, this one's called the Leatherface Special. So,
Oh.
but yeah, so right now it's still kind of setting in, where it's like it's that weird thing where it's like, because I'm so used to because like I said, I'm a 47-year-old man. I wake up, I go to bed at 10:30 and wake up at 6 every day, which apparently in this creative community is unheard of.
I mean, are you Bigfoot?
Essentially,
that sounds like a cryptid in this universe.
But it's because I'm so used to, for so long, being on like a normal it was like 7 to 3 work schedule for my butcher job, and now I'll wake up at like 6 here, and I'm like, oh. So like yesterday, no shit, I woke up at 6 a.m. All the rest of the house is asleep till like noon, and I'm like, well, I guess I'll clean the entire kitchen, and I cleaned the entire kitchen. Because I was like, what else do I have to do at 6 a.m. when everybody else is asleep?
I mean, that's what's happening to me, because when I'm on a normal sleep schedule, it does happen. I wake up at 5:30. Like, that's how my clock is. I don't know why. I don't know why my natural clock when I'm on a consistent schedule is 5:30 in the morning. I think it's from vending at conventions, because I wake up really early on convention days, because the rest of the day is a complete wash for me. 5:30, everything happens, but also everyone's asleep, and it's very much the same in this house. So I just go out. So I'm like, I can't do anything. Someone's asleep in this room. I guess I'm gonna go put on Pixar movies now and drink my coffee. Like, it's just, or okay, I guess I'm gonna go clean the kitchen. I actually cleaned the kitchen one day with that too. So relatable. But it's
like,
just,
I'll also do a thing where because like working on Farfetch is like my full-time job, but like I have my own content, so I try to also do that, in my own time. But like it varies. Like some days, like the other day, I woke up and I was just working on a music project for a couple hours before Ashley got up. But then like the other day, I kind of did a similar thing to you with the Pixar thing, where I was like, it's 5:30 in the morning. I'm gonna watch Rawhead Rex on Shudder. And I did that, and I was just so filled with serotonin for the rest of the day, better than any cup of coffee could provide. Watching, like an Irish movie written by Clive Barker about a big monster ripping people's heads off at 5:30 in the morning is a real good way to start your day.
A real good way to start your day is putting on Monsters, Inc. and then crying.
And then crying.
Yeah, because I haven't watched Monsters, Inc. in years, and it's not because I don't love the movie. I just didn't have the means to watch it. And I was like, now I can finally watch it. Oh God, I forgot. This is one of my crying movies. Because as soon as Sully says Kitty has to go now, I'm like, oh no.
Oh, you weren't crying at the Randy Newman?
If I was a rich man.
I was a rich man. Short people.
Okay, guys, we need to dial it back. Apparently, this stream gets already sponsored by Disney Plus now.
I mean,
subscribe to Disney Plus for $100 a month.
I mean, real talk. Ever since Netflix increased their prices again, yeah. You know what?
What is more expensive now? Is it Disney Plus or Netflix?
No, Netflix is the most expensive one now of all the streaming platforms.
Oh my god!
Because now in the Americas, it's almost like $20-some a month.
Oh my god! I remember it was like $8.99 a month. Like,
I know.
How much am I paying?
It's fucking
probably too much.
I mean, yeah, but like I think like Disney Plus may actually, if you're just getting Disney Plus and not the Hulu package, I think that one is tied with HBO Max as the cheapest, because HBO Max is like what, $10-14?
I'd imagine.
And I don't know how much Paramount Plus is, but I don't care, because you can't make me care about Paramount Plus, no matter how much Twilight Zone and Star Trek you put on there.
Paramount Plus sounds like some kind of parody of streaming services. Like, it just does. Like, and maybe it's because like I'm a big Red Letter Media fan, and I love their new Nerd Crew series. And like when they'll just say stuff like Paramount Plus or like all this stuff, I think it's fake. I'm used to this shit being fake, and then I see it's real, and I'm like, parody just doesn't exist anymore because we live in a warped reality. So
kind of true. But yeah, in Germany, Netflix is still only €12, so including taxes.
Good for you. I don't feel bad about region locking our content anymore. But
well, that's where my VPN comes in, which I have to pay each month to.
Listen, Max, you just need to be like me and just collect copious amounts of VHS tape, and you'll never have to worry about region stuff.
What would I watch them on? I mean,
VHS, a VCR.
Yeah, go to the Goodwill and get a VCR for $5. It's great.
But
I recall that mysterious device.
Oh my god! Before we move on, Dave, have you heard about the pyramid they're making made of Jerry Maguire?
Dude, yes, I'm a massive Everything is Terrible fan, and I can tell this story real quick. I've been a fan of them for a long time because one of my biggest hobbies is I clean up old VHS stuff for like horror and Halloween commercials and bad commercials because they make me laugh. I've been an EIT fan for years, and I got to go to their studio right before I left LA the first time, and I met with the guy who runs it, and we kind of hit it off for a bit. They gave me a bunch of like free tapes. They gave me like Eddie Eagle Gun Safety and Santa Claus Conquers the Martians and everything. And while I was there, we were talking about the Jerry Pyramid. They have a fucking drop box for when the office is closed for people to just drop in Jerry Maguire tapes through the door. And there's like a stack like this tall of it. It's amazing.
One of our friends who also frequents the podcast, Joey Hollywood, made an entire short film about him submitting VHS tapes for this fucking
wonderful.
pyramid.
And
the only thing that is like close to as cool as this is the guy who owns like 200 copies of Rush on VHS or Laserdisc inside of his car.
That's like I mentioned RLM earlier. They have like 100 copies of Nuki on VHS that they just display.
What?
It's funny.
I want this.
It's like, and with the Jerry Maguire thing, it's especially funny because I will go to thrift stores a lot to find tapes because I like to do I stream bad horror movies and also mystery blank tapes on Twitch where I go explore them. There is always, without a doubt, at least one copy of Jerry Maguire in their VHS section without fail. Like every time. I don't know if they just overproduced them when that movie came out or what it is, but they're always there. Enough to make a pyramid in the desert from.
Or a throne room.
This feels like a David Lynch picture, like something.
It's like do you remember like the whole thing when James Rolfe based the AVGN movie on like the ET Atari like thing from in the desert?
Yeah,
it's
the
like
landfill.
That. Yeah, where there's so much of them that it's like, God, I would love to see David Lynch make a movie about the Jerry Maguire pyramid. I would see that opening night. I would absolutely see that opening night. David Lynch is a spiritual hero of mine in every way.
So, but yeah, Keyframe, did any... Oh, she's gone. Then I guess, what happened in my week then? Not too much, to be honest, but I have now started in earnest my flat hunt. Since so far I have just been looking at flats, like window shopping and getting all depressed over like, what a beautiful flat. But I was still waiting on documents which are required to apply for a flat. And I was like, yeah, no point in applying for a flat and not having everything already handy. Because if they are like, yeah, you can have it, just give me the stuff. And I'm like, wait bit. So yeah, but the document arrived in the post the other day, so now I can look flats and actually send applications and then have visitations. But the good thing is that currently there are no mass showings, which is the standard in Berlin, sadly. But instead they have like appointments, like one person appointments, one-on-one. So gotta now start sending out the applications, hopefully get messages back, and then I actually have to start leaving the flat to visit other flats to inspect.
Oh God.
But besides that, still looking forward to it, because we have found some very, very pretty flats, which I'm really looking forward to. Because as much as I like my current flat and everything, it's a little bit small, especially if we want to get ferrets. So that's
did I come in time?
Probably,
because
mostly.
Okay, sorry about that.
I'm just on my week, and Flat Hunt was a big thing that happened this week. Then another thing will be my media, which happened this week. And besides that, I believe this week was beautifully Rona-friendly, eventless.
Cool. I could talk about how I've been blamed for murder. Okay.
Excellent. Please do tell.
I want to hear this.
All right, so this was a clickbait of a statement. So if people know, I'm part of Salty DK Dan's friend lock stream, which, if you know what a Pokemon Nuzlocke is, you have to capture the first Pokemon you get on a route. If that Pokemon faints during a battle or something, that means they're dead. But the twist is, each Pokemon gets assigned to one of his friends, and they get to pick what moves you fight with, and if they die, they get kicked out of the Discord call. It's great. I get to play a Sandslash that's basically an old Jewish grandma. I'm anti-Sandslash and people love me. How you? But like the thing was, during the beginning of the stream, before I evolved into the ant, I was a little bitch of a fucking sand shrew who just like was an asshole. And I said, "Who's gonna die tonight? I'm guessing a dog." Guess which Pokemon died during the stream? Both of the dog Pokemon. Our friend Pasty and our friend Gerber. And, well, Pasty died embarrassingly just on a random boat. It wasn't even a gym battle. And then Gerber died, which he was one of the first. He was the starter Pokemon. Well, the second starter Pokemon. And it was just everyone in the comments of the VOD, and all of my friends are like, "Wait, Chrissy called it." I'm like, oh, I love this art. This is such a cute one. You
caused both Old Yeller and Lassie to pass away. How do you feel?
Yeah, it's not fun when I'm in calls with Derek and friends, all the friends are like, "Hey, Chrissy, can you predict who's going to die next?" And they're legitimately asking.
Okay, well, let me ask you. When are Max and I gonna die? What are the dates?
Oh, God. Do you guys think I have, like, the eyes from Death Note that I can look at you and I see your death above your...
Yeah.
Okay,
it's like that. What's that Justin Timberlake movie where everybody has, like, time on their wrist?
Oh, oh, God. The movie that could have been cool.
It's got the guy from Big Bang Theory in it.
Oh, yeah, it does. But, okay, Dave, you're going to die exactly 3 months after you turn 81.
That is a lot further away than I expected.
Max, I'm going to give you a solid... Well, it's a miracle. Me and Denim have both talked about how it's a miracle how you have survived this long. So I'm gonna give you a solid 30 more years. If you've survived 30, you can survive 30 more.
You really think he's gonna, like, I'm gonna outlive him? You really think that?
Dude, he willingly gives himself food poisoning.
Okay, let's talk about this.
I mean, I made a nice big pot of curry. I forgot to put it in the fridge overnight, and it still tastes mostly good the day after the next
Let
day.
me tell you a story. Okay, I have many stories. God, okay, enough with the clapping hand emoji. I have many stories where, because I've known Max for 7 years. This March will be our 7-year
Wow.
anniversary. And I've known him since he's turned 30. I don't know how he's lived, because there's so many occasions where I'm like, wait, you did what? Why did you do? He rides his bike like a bat out of hell while music is blasting in his ears on a road.
No, I do not have headphones in when riding the bike.
Okay,
I might be riding across red lights and crossing cars and nearly got run over by our.
I was gonna say, I like how that's the takeaway you chose
Exactly.
from this.
Yeah,
Remember
Our
that episode of
CFO
Kimmy Schmidt we watched?
Our CFO
Like that.
only killed me almost twice when entering our company's.
I remember.
To be fair, I'll put myself on blast here. I sometimes, if I'm on like long drives, even in heavily populated areas, I will put my phone on the speedometer on YouTube videos, and just like kind of back and forth from the road to the video, even though it should not be doing that probably.
It really is an amazing thing to witness him live. I mean, I've also had to straight up take care of him because I don't know what. This is not how has he been alive. This is me actually feeling bad for him. I visited in November of like 2017 because we were going to go to a con right after.
Right.
And like 2 days after I arrive, he suddenly gets really, really sick. Like, I saw him sitting in this computer chair just doing his thing, and then slowly throughout the like next 2 hours, he's just sinking more and more in his chair, and he's like, I think I need to go lie down. And it was so bad. Like, I was making him soup, and he was just in the kitchen. He's like, Chrissy, I'm sorry, I have to go. I can't stand the smell. It was chicken soup. It was,
I'm barely ever sick, so when it hits me,
This was bad.
I am like completely.
Also, chicken soup is the thing you're supposed to take when you are sick.
Exactly.
Yeah, but the thing was, I've never, because he's a fairly, I don't know how, okay man of health, and I was walking in to give him his soup, and this 6-foot-tall German man is just in the fetal position in his bed, and he's like, thank you. And it was so bad. And then he starts making fun of me because I take care of him, and I'm like, I could pour this soup on you.
Just because just because I'm sick doesn't mean I stop being an asshole.
No.
There you go.
That's true.
Solid reasoning right here.
Totally. But yeah, so besides that's happened. Besides that, it's just been working on things. Sorry, I have to collect my thoughts. But like, yeah, I did do a thing, which is I actually took Friday and yesterday, and I started actually thumbnailing out a short for my series, which is Abby and Theo, which is, for people who don't look at my Twitter, is about like a guy who momentarily went to purgatory and basically ripped a spirit out of purgatory who has no idea who she was or why she was there. And they live together, and it's all that stuff. Shenanigans ensue. And, while I'm working on the pilot, I was like, I'm just going to make some shorts. It's my fucking show. I want to have fun.
Exactly. That's what you should.
Because that was the roadblock for a while. I was like, should I just make the pilot first and just hyper focus on that? And then I was like, but I have all these ideas, but they wouldn't fit into an episode. And then I just had a moment the other day. I was talking to Lauren. I don't know if Abby's still in the chat, but my basically sister from another mister, and I was like, okay, I got a funny joke. And then she bounced ideas off of me, and I was like, fuck am I doing? I should just do it. I keep telling people to just go do the things they want to do, or else they'll never do them, and I'm not practicing what I'm preaching.
You
So
get in that
like
hypocrisy loop. I've been there.
Yeah, so like here is the first scene in post-it notes. See, Max, it's a nice organized pile on like that Clone High board, which was
True.
stacked like a thing of Ritz crackers.
Oh, but is it a thumb cinema? Can you do that?
Yeah, is it a Captain Underpants flip-a-rama?
No, it is not a flipperama. I can show people my favorite expressions that I have in this, though both of them are pretty much the same energy. And keep in mind, these are chicken scratch. These are not supposed to be good looking. They're just to get the idea down. I really like, once the camera focuses, I just really like this face. Oh, come on, camera, focus. It's just a staring off it. My favorite expressions characters have is when they're staring off into the abyss, questioning everything. But, yeah. So expect that. I actually made deadlines for myself in, well, perspective, where I wanted to get this thing fully boarded by late March and then start hiring people to help in April. Because I also had that realization when I was bouncing the ideas off with Lauren of, why did I punish myself by thinking I can do this entire thing alone? Animation is animation is collaborative. I should probably collaborate. Like, what the fuck? So yeah, if people have been.
I was gonna say, I'll tell you straight up. It's funny because the way you're doing it, because we're working on the pilot, the full-fledged pilot for Farfetched, but at the same time, we just finished up. I just finished up doing the writing for this long short we're gonna do beforehand that introduces all of the characters that we're very excited to put out. So we were going to do the same thing where we were just gonna jump into the pilot. But then we were like, well, let's do something to establish all of them so people can kind of get excited about it. And then it went from this like little like, oh, cute little thing to show the characters to like this full-fledged like 3 to 4 minute like epic. I hate using that word, but that's basically what it is. And now it's like just batshit off the wall crazy, and I'm super excited for it.
Yeah, I gave myself the willingness to make this basically, I'm estimating a 4-minute short. It's not like an insane concept. It's the girl ghost, Abby, trying to pick out a last name for herself because she only has her first name, and she's like, a person has a last name. I want a last name. But it's a lot of fun, and it's a lot of fun having someone to actually bounce the ideas off of and everything. And I've had people interested on Twitter because I've been talking about it, and like I made like the subtle thing that I'm going to be opening auditions for a character in it. That's a dog.
No, it looks like a dragon. It has a dragon tail, it has wings, and it spews fire.
It's the show was originally called Hell Puppy, Max. It's a dog.
Yeah, so what it was originally, it was originally called Hell Puppy, but then, because I actually had the idea for a long time about the basis of the show, but when we joined forces to co-create the series, we basically kind of scrapped almost everything except basically Rue and Kira, those two characters. And now we went for the Farfetched thing because now I don't want to really spoil too much just because I want to let I'm very kind of cryptic when it comes to my projects, and I want to let the work speak for itself. But I think it's going to catch people off guard what we're doing with it, because that you're playing, there's a little proof of concept short that's going to come out, which is still kind of like that little like Hell Puppy thing a little bit. It is not really what the show is anymore. I mean, it's still the characters, but I'm very excited for people to see it because I think it's a
I'm
lot of fun.
excited.
Yeah. The script has been super fun to work on, I will say, because it's very like, I don't know, it's very inspired by like a lot of like 80s horror comedy stuff, which is like my realm, and then Ashley's kind of aesthetic. So I don't know. Well, it'll be
This
out. We're
short
trying to get it out in the
screams
summer.
Ashley. Like
Yeah,
the
because
the aesthetic of this show screams Ashley. That's why I love it so much.
Yeah,
But
But yeah.
I can't wait for this show. I was going to apply as a colorist for the show, but then I was like, I'm way too busy.
yeah.
Oh
that's fair.
God, that's an old art. Get it off the screen, please.
I couldn't find a more.
But I
one.
don't need. Take it down. I. That's old. That's so old.
Is there a
But,
recent one of those two?
I mean, I.
Oh wait, wait.
I've been very busy.
Fair.
I say this. I've been very busy. This is why I've made a statement that Fridays are personal project days, because for like 3 years, I've never given a day to myself to work on my own shit. But yeah, so that's really all that's happened. My life is boring. But yeah. Should I talk about my media? Because I don't have a lot to say about it besides
then
Jesus Christ.
I mean, we are already insanely far in, so not having say too much about media is perfect. So
Yeah, that works.
Cool.
Say very little about your media, please.
All right. So, I didn't want to talk about WandaVision because the show's not over yet, but just gonna say to the people who have watched the newest episode, holy shit. But no. So I wanted to go back in time and watch one of my favorite series of shorts on YouTube ever, which is the Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared saga. This thing's fucking 10 years old. But for people who don't know, they're a series of puppet shorts, a very dark satire of children's entertainment, that all of them start with a lesson that these puppet characters are being taught, and then it gets darker and darker and darker. And I think a lot of things on YouTube is dated, but this is something I don't think can be dated, because the secret commentary of the bastardization of children's media with like stuff like advertisements and trying to manipulate the minds of children with all these different things is so kind of topical now, more than it was back in the day. And they do it in such a, I really recommend, if you want a good deep dive into everything Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared, is the Nightmind video where he goes through all the shorts. Nightmind, I love you. But it's just such a good series. I think my favorite one has to be Time or the Food, the healthy eating one.
Ooh.
I think those are my favorite. But it's so good. And you can interpret it in so many ways. And the team that makes this, I love knowing that the team who made this, which is just a duo and then a studio behind it, this was their stuff that got them to work on The Amazing World of Gumball, a Cartoon Network show.
Yeah.
Because they did an entire guest episode that went into puppetry, and the voices that they do are the voices of like some of these characters in Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I love English media. But I really, if you haven't seen it yet, I don't know what you've been doing on YouTube, because this was like a big thing. Like the first one made such an impression because it was such a bait and switch.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you see it happening right there.
And it was also some of the most high quality content on YouTube at the time with production value. So it's something that was exclusively made for YouTube. It wasn't just like a music video or something. So I guess if you don't like gore, I'm specifically going to say don't watch the healthy eating episode. The other ones don't get nearly as gory, but that one involves a can eating the entrails of one of the characters. And I guess the Time one has like body rotting, but it's a puppet. so it's not like really fleshy. I don't know. That one's a hard line to cross, but the healthy eating one it has a lot of guts and blood. The other ones are more like psychological, which is my preferred thing. I love a good slasher movie for fun, but I'm more of a psychological horror person. That's
No,
my
I'm with
bread and
you.
butter.
I'm with you on that because I love, like, my favorite movie of all time is Evil Dead 2, but to actually like creep me out, you gotta like get into my head. So
My favorite horror movie of all time is Misery. Also, to me,
That's a
the
good
best
pick.
adaptation of a book. But
it's very good.
It is very good. But yeah, I recommend people watching it if you haven't already.
It's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube, the entire thing, and I feel like you will get a lot out of it because looking back on it now 10 years and by the last episode 5 years later, I feel like you can, especially in the internet environment post COPPA, and realizing just how influencer stuff preys on kids.
Oh yeah,
It actually gives you a whole new pair of eyes to watch this, and also watch the Nightmind video after watching those, because the Nightmind video really gets into the nitty gritty, and it's a very well produced video. I'll send Max the link so he can put it in the description of the VOD.
I will do that.
Yeah, don't hug me. Actually, the last thing. I realized something amazing looking at the YouTube comments of why it's called "Don't Hug Me, I'm Scared."
Mm-hmm.
It's a thing an abused child would say.
Yeah,
because it's a very widely documented thing that children of abuse don't like physical contact, especially when they're scared, because that's correlated with touch.
right.
So, and I was like, holy crap, how have I not noticed this for 10 years? But yeah, that's my media. Happy holidays.
Yay! Dave, what about you? Do you want to talk about your media?
I'm trying to think what I watched. I mentioned earlier that I watched Rawhead Rex a couple days ago.
Please tell us about Rawhead Rex, because I've not heard of this.
Rawhead Rex. If you know, it's funny because like I could also, like, because you did with the Nightmind thing, I could recommend the Red Letter Media Half in the Bag on Rawhead Rex. But basically, it's a movie from, I believe, 1987. I believe.
Oh boy, that is a Rawhead.
Can you put it on Twitch or?
I'm working on it. I hope I found the right one, but that is a Rawhead, all right. Did I find the right one?
You did indeed.
Ah, look at this boy.
That is.
It looks like a House of the Dead character that you shoot in the head.
He is a little bit closer up.
So, the book was written. Actually, it was based on a short story by Clive Barker, who is the creator of Hellraiser. One of my favorite authors and filmmakers. But the film adaptation, honestly, the truth is, it really does not do the story justice at all. But that's kind of what's fun about it, because it's way goofier than it should be. It is definitely a, like, well, no, you know, it's on that weird line of like being between genuinely good and so bad it's good. It's like it has parts that kind of go in and out.
Mm-hmm.
And it's mainly through the creature itself, because the acting is actually pretty good. The dialogue is actually pretty well written for this kind of movie. But the creature is just, as you can see, is just so goofy looking. And the whole point of the movie is that it's supposed to be that this creature gets released from in Ireland, what looks like a phallic, like, what do you call it? Not obelisk, but like giant
phallic symbol.
Yeah. Nah, it doesn't straight up look like a dick completely, but it's like, it looks like the Washington Monument, you know,
so it
in the
looks
middle.
like a dick.
Okay.
Yeah. And they uproot it, and underneath it is this creature that apparently has been the original god before Christ himself, that thing.
Oh yeah,
Rawhead
I heard
Rex.
about him.
And he's supposed to be the physical manifestation of masculine desires of violence and sex. So he'll just kill a bunch of men and, try to sleep with women, but it's done, and it's up. The only thing that can defeat him is a woman using a holy statue of a which shoots out cosmic rays from their what is clearly supposed to be feminine parts. And
Yeah.
yeah.
Also,
Now
is this an actual screenshot from the movie?
that's I think is
Oops.
the
Wait,
yes, that is an actual screenshot from the film.
there it is. Yeah.
That is Mr. Rex himself.
I now know
Oh.
what you mean with goofy looking.
Yes, and this concept, while it sounds very convoluted, the thing about it is that it's just that it's mixed in with that 80s cheese. Like the story itself gets across the point. The movie is more enjoyable, I suppose, from kind of because I love like goofy creature feature horror movies. Like I'm a big I'm a massive like Killer Clowns fan and like all different types. I know probably way more about 1980s horror and creature movies than a person should.
We all have that thing that we know more than probably is healthy.
Yeah, and I don't know, and this is one that I watched because I had been meaning to watch it for a while, and like I said, it was just a spur of the moment thing because I have Shudder, and it was like 5:30 in the morning, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'll just go ahead and do this, and it ended up being so ridiculous that I'm like, well, I don't need any substances to get me through the day but this. So I might make it a regular routine if I'm having a very drowsy day to, instead of buying coffee, to watch Rawhead Rex, and it will get me through my
Nice.
existence.
Also, just for giggles, I'm not sure if this is an original design or just an alternative design of his from comics.
Is it the pumpkin head looking one?
It's the pumpkin head looking one. And I
Yeah.
just want to point out, it's not easy to find one where you don't see his manliness.
Can I say
Oh.
it's funny you bring up Pumpkinhead, because Pumpkinhead is kind of the opposite, where it's like Pumpkinhead is genuinely one of the most underrated creature designs. Like, I think it is my favorite Stan Winston creation is Pumpkinhead, genuinely.
Yeah,
and that's like
I just
topping the
think of the-
Xenomorph.
Yeah, I just think of the pumpkin head from the real Ghostbusters at like the Spirit of Halloween.
Oh yeah,
probably,
I remember that.
Which was most obvious, probably based off that. But God, if you want a shot of espresso, just watch Videodrome. Watch a Cronenberg movie.
Yeah, if you any of that, with the gun seeping into, or maybe the VHS chest vagina. Which one are you gonna pick?
I mean, there's also the pulsating TV with lips that's just like, come here, big boy.
And look, Hail the New Flesh is a wonderful way to end a movie. I'm because I also have it started off as a hobby, but I also do it for work. Because I actually do a lot of practical special effects stuff, like with blood and makeup, and because I'm super big into that stuff.
Effects.
Before it was unfortunately canceled, I actually did the practical effects for Maxwell Adams' Dead Meat film that he was working on. Because
I haven't heard that project's name in a hot minute.
Yeah, I was on that, and it was a ton. It's probably the most fun time I've had working on a shoot of anything. Honestly, everybody was wonderful. It was super fun to make. But unfortunately, just from convoluted bullshit that he explained, it's I don't know. I think he'll eventually do something with it, but I mean, it was a ton of fun. And Maxwell is genuinely such a good guy. He really is.
I want to meet him one day. He seems really, really neat.
He's a sweetheart. And Billy and Mandy was my favorite cartoon as a kid, and it was one of my big inspirations. So getting to call him a friend now is really cool. I guess
that is cool. That is a flex I wish I could have.
I don't know. Something I've learned doing this is that people are just people, just in general. Like
Oh,
even
yeah,
like
totally.
there are only like I can count on my hand the amount of people I would get legitimately starstruck for because I just think people are people. Like it doesn't really happen to me.
If
Like
Gary Busey came to your door.
I would, yeah. The number one is Bruce Campbell. Bruce Campbell is the number
Oh,
one.
yeah.
Totally not related to your love for 80s horror movies.
Not at all. No, genuinely, like there's a like because I have my
Yes.
own personal radio show / podcast. That if I got Bruce Campbell on the show, I genuinely don't know if I could like continue at that point. Like there'd be no point. There'd be no point. Like because it's like
You peaked.
it's like you peak. Yeah, you peak. So but yeah, you should never like genuinely it's like people are just people, and most of the time that now there are people who sniff their own butt enough to
Believe
and
their own hype.
right, and you don't really want to associate with those people.
Oh, yeah,
anyway.
totally. I was just poking
Totally.
fun because that is really
Oh, no,
cool
no.
that you...
Totally not knowing people who might fall under that description. No.
Yeah,
Totes, my goats.
My friend Daniel's in the chat, and so because you guys go to especially you, Chrissy, go to a lot of conventions. I go to a lot of horror conventions, and I went to Monsterpalooza a couple of years ago where I got to meet Bruce Campbell, and he signed my like Ash vs. Evil Dead poster. Really nice, and he was doing a thing where he was taking like 5 minutes to talk to everybody one-on-one, and he told me, he said basically listen, I'll be real with you, get out of LA and go back to Louisiana. And then I ended up not taking his advice and moving back to California, and Daniel just called me out on that, which yes, I didn't listen to him, but you know what,
one advice he gave you.
I know. I get it though, like cause Bruce Campbell is, because I've read like his book, because he's very much that kind of like, which I am too. Like I like being in California and LA because of my work and my friends, but I am very much kind of like anti-Hollywood. Like I'm not into that culture at all. Which I'm not trying to be like cool or edgy by that. I just don't like the vibe
It's not
it all
a culture.
gives me.
It's not a culture to really It's not really a culture to vibe to.
I've been at maybe you might have been in this situation where I've been at like social events where like there are people who only want to get to know you if you can do something for them creatively, and it's the most to me. It's like I try to get along with as many people as possible, and that nothing gives me bigger red flags except maybe if you were holding like a gun to my head than that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's no, I fully get it, where you are just like your subscriber count or your resume, like that's all you are to people. It's fucking dumb. It's like, dude, I just want to have a drink and shoot the shit. Like, come on now, man.
I have always had a policy where I don't care if somebody has 1 Twitter follower or 1 million. I'm gonna treat you the exact same until you give me a reason not to.
Yeah. I would say with the philosophy we actually encompass pretty well here on the show. I mean, we
don't respect anyone.
Exactly. No, because Enigma brought it up in the chat, and it was also like, I basically had my Bruce Campbell moment when we had Jesse Cox on the show here. But I was not starstruck, and it was like, for me, it was more the very sobering thing of like, great, I just had a podcast with my idol, but it felt like any other, a good episode. A good episode. He's a fun person,
and that's good. That's honestly good. It really is, because it kind of you get that kind of down to earth feeling. Like I had on my show, my favorite musician of all time is a guy named Devin Townsend. And I was very lucky to get him on my show, and I did have that kind of, like I said, like count on the hand, and he was one of them. I had him on the show, and he ended up being like the most down to earth, cool guy, and the conversation was just so like chill that it made me feel like, okay, this is really awesome that people can just be people, even when they're that, in that place.
I mean,
That's why I think if I... Oh, sorry. No.
I actually learned it from both directions, like on a far smaller scale than anybody you just referenced, Dave. Like when I started out YouTubing with my current channel, I was like looking up to, my God, there is a channel that has 10,000 views, like Senpai notice me kind of thing.
Yeah.
Then at some point I had 20,000 views, and I'm like, had people reacting this way to me, and I'm like, I felt the same. I now had a very more eye to eye experience with this guy I looked up before because he had so many subscribers, and I was like I feel still like the same idiot dude with a webcam I felt in the very beginning, and
Yeah, but just saying, just before we go back on the rails, like, that's why I feel like if I ever met, I have one person I know that I would do anything in the world to meet, but I know that when I meet them, it would just be like a normal conversation, and that is Frank Welker. That man is a god.
Ooh, that's a good pick.
He's a god in the industry, but he's not a god as a person. I'm just
sure.
But like, the thing is, he never goes to conventions because he doesn't think he's that important. He's just like, I like voicing my characters and going out to golf. Like, he's very, very overtly modest given how much he's done for the industry. He's a good man. He's one of the highest earning actors in the world, and he doesn't care. He just wants to play golf and voice cartoons.
That's like you brought up real quick. You brought up David Lynch earlier, and I'm a massive David Lynch fan, and he's kind of the same way where it's like, because people who don't know David Lynch but have seen his movies are like, oh, this guy is like some artsy fartsy. No, he's like, today I'm going to talk about the weather. Like he does daily. Have you seen?
Yes, in my
his daily weather reports are like, I watch those every day, and they're fantastic.
A buddy of mine, Chuggledy Buggle, he has stopped it, but for quite a while he kept posting the newest David Lynch weather report video in my Discord, like every day, like plong plong. I usually answered by posting David Lynch lotto numbers.
Yeah,
The thing I gotta put into I gotta send Max put in the description is an interview that Peter Cullen and Frank Welker did to promote the. I think they were talking. They weren't promoting. They were talking about the original Transformers movie because Optimus Prime and Megatron, and they were just. It's so fucking wholesome. I love this man, and but the thing I would talk to him about is like, what was it like? If I had to ask him a fan question to pick his brain, I would ask him what it was like to work with Elvis, because his first like big thing was being in an Elvis movie, and I feel like no one talks to him about that. And I'm like, but that would be so cool. I want to know what that's like.
I think it's mainly because nobody talks about the Elvis movies anymore.
How dare they? Like, you know what? How dare you? But that would be mine. But to get back on track, who would you recommend Rawhead to, and who would you think, who would you give the warnings of? Like, is this a gory? Yeah, I know. This is a great show, but Jesus Christ, our greatest shows are when we just do not follow the format.
Yeah.
So this is a compliment to you, Dave.
Yep.
I appreciate it. I'll say, look, if you're like a 80s like goofy like horror fan like me, you like creature features, you like So Bad It's Good movies like that, you'll love it. If that's not your thing, you know what? Let me say this thing. If it's not your thing, don't watch it. But if you get with friends, it might be fun. You know what I mean?
That's the best way to do it. I mean, yeah, that's the best way to do cheese. Like a charcuterie board. It's better with people than eating it alone in the dark. Sad.
Yes, that is exactly correct. You're not gonna get a vegetable tray from Kroger and eat that by yourself. You're gonna share it.
Yeah,
yeah.
Max, it's your turn.
Okay, I try to keep it in under a minute. Somebody take the time. 3.
Wait,
2,
let me
okay.
let me grab my phone. Don't hit.
Great, I try to keep it extra short, and instead we now have to delay.
All right, and Go.
Denim Ninja finally got her Wii game sent from her parents in Colorado, and so therefore on Friday we played for the very first time Mario Party 8. It's my first Mario Party game I ever played, and
Ooh.
therefore we had a great time. I enjoyed it very much. In some points it was a little bit slow and animations went long, and being me, I would have liked to be able to skip, but besides that I still had a very good time. We played only a 15-round game, and at the end of it, it was like, whoa, this was 1.5 hours, and it was great fun. We will probably continue doing this in the future. Bam!
So
Play Mario
34
Party.
seconds.
you didn't hate each other at the end of a Mario Party
No,
game.
Still
I'm
living
surprised.
together. I mean, it might
Yeah.
have helped. We were both basically like food coma on giant bowls of homemade ramen, so that
Oh,
probably
man.
helped to keep the peace. But no.
But yeah, you got 34 seconds. I'm actually impressed with you, Maxie.
But yeah, this is then still there should be enough time to point to this week's Art of the Week by Kenny Sue of Dragons. Fun fact: this is actually an old piece he redid. He what do you say it again? Revised,
A redraw.
Is it a complete redraw? I'm not even
I
sure.
think so.
Ken,
I mean,
are
your
you
head
here?
shape is different.
Yeah, but the pose is very identical. So it's a.
I mean, it probably had I think you're thinking of the term a paint over, but I think it was a complete redraw.
Or revisit.
But-
Thanks to Ken
Thank you for the art.
for not only drawing it once but twice, and especially since it's very much, it's not just fan art for me or for you or whatever. It's actually for the podcast. Fan art for the podcast. We haven't had those
You know
since-
that if Max is holding a microphone, it's for the podcast.
No, it literally is for the podcast. I'm pretty.
It
I
could be
know,
a
I know. I'm
spontaneous
being-
karaoke session. You don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we do try to go to karaoke when we see each other. So it's like, you know.
Oh, dude, same. I love karaoke with friends. It's so much fun.
Dude, if the podcast wasn't going long already, I would tell you about our best.
boy.
No, fuck
wait,
it. I'm
wait,
gonna
wait,
tell
okay.
you about.
You know, we'll do this super quick, real quick. What is your go-to karaoke song? That's what we'll do.
Somebody to Love from Queen.
That's a good one.
I usually love to butcher Halfway There, which is not the song of the title, isn't it?
What about 99 Love Balloons?
Oh.
That one's also one you do.
Hast du
Mine is,
etwas Zeit für mich, dann singe
But yeah,
ich
like-
ein
like-
Lied für dich.
I usually
I'm
do
a
Burning
Nina
Down the
fan.
House by Talking Heads. That's what I do.
Yeah. But no, just quickly. We went to the worst karaoke place I think I've ever been to one time because we were going to go to this place called Kim's, which was like, I think we went there the first time I visited Germany and it was fun as fuck.
Little
then it
hole-
closed.
little hole in the wall, Asian store, karaoke bar run by a real Asian person.
And then we went, and then we were like, okay, we already went to the other side of town. We're not going to try. We're going to try to find a karaoke place. We found one, but it was completely booked up for some a wedding or engagement party.
Yeah.
And then we were like, okay, there's one more called the Green Mango. Oh my God, there was nothing
Berlin's
but German
bestest-
college kids.
Berlin's
German
bestest
college
and tallestest
kids.
and greatestest
Yeah,
karaoke
Yeah.
bar.
it was filled with Berlin college kids. So people with shitty taste
and
in
at
music.
least 3
And
bachelorettes,
too bad.
but, yeah.
Yes, we saw the most uncomfortable lap dance of all time. Because, oh my God, that guy didn't want to be there. And it was an interesting experience. Never again, but it was interesting.
Yeah.
But anyways, Twitter questions, Max. Come on, we
Twitter
gotta do a
questions.
lightning round.
Yeah,
We're burning
we-
daylight.
Yeah, we do need to lightening it up. I mean, first things first, I mean, I have a question by a certain Adam Majoria.
Oh, I knew this one was gonna make it.
course.
In.
Yeah,
I-
but wait.
I mean, I don't. Key and I don't even understand what he is asking. So I guess this question is exclusively for you, Dave. Was there ever a time where you were watching Caddyshack with a bunch of guys, and yet you just truly couldn't help yourself and needed release?
Okay, I'm gonna tell. I luckily I have told this story on the podcast in the past, so it's already out there. So this was when, okay, I was 13 years old, and the guy who asked this is like one of my oldest friends from childhood. We were at his house for a sleepover with a few friends, and they had a large projector room. And like I said, 13-year-old boy, if it, you know what I mean.
I'm
Like,
going through changes.
we David Bowie playing in the background. We were watching Caddyshack for the first time, and the sex scene came on. And
What?
all I can say is that I said that I had to I told my friends that I had to go to the bathroom. And I went upstairs to my friend's bed that I was sleeping on that night, and
Why
warned
did you
it
just do it in the bathroom? Why did you do it on your friend's bed?
because I'm 13 and don't know how to think.
I had to.
Oh, you
Okay,
actually
well-
see full booby.
Yeah.
That
Huh.
that was okay. I mean, thank you for the story. Adam, I'm not blaming Dave for this. I'm blaming you. You opened the door and we had to walk
No,
in.
this motherfucker, anytime he gets the chance, because like I said, he's like that friend we all have that's like from like that one childhood friend that's always they're gonna be at your wedding and your funeral. You know what I'm talking about? He's that for me.
Wait.
But any chance he gets, and I love him to death. He's always supported me through everything. But no matter how far up the ladder I climb, he will find a way to make me tell this story if he can, just to bring me back down to earth.
Sorry
so
for
in a
this,
way, it's a blessing, I suppose.
How did he find out? Because somebody
Because
came looking after you, or
oh well, that's the end of the story. He walked in during the experimentation and asked what I was doing. And look, what are you gonna do, right? Like you can't
Someone clip this. Thank you.
Oh, this is gonna haunt me. I know it will.
Yeah, but okay. So I think you've been punished enough. Next question from Discord. Okay. Jesus. All right. From unpaid translator, pet spotting time. What's the coolest animal you've seen while walking around? You know, like a year or so ago when walking was normal.
I
mean,
I cannot show the picture. No, he posted a picture.
Oh
with
yeah,
it.
because he put a dog. But
Yeah, it's a cool dog. though.
It's a cool dog. But here's the thing.
Or maybe.
Okay, I'm going to say this bars zoos, you know, because that's too easy.
Oh yeah, I was about to ask,
I've
like,
died.
because then you could say like a giraffe if you were at a zoo, like.
What?
You broke our cameras.
What? How? No, there. I must have accidentally clicked
Jesus.
somewhere. Sorry for that.
But like, no, trying to think. I did see someone walk their ferret once. Like they had them in a little harness and like walking them. And that was the most chaotic thing I think I've ever seen. Because do you expect a ferret to walk in a straight line? This thing was like going like all over, sniffing everything, and I'm just like, why did you bring it out to a sidewalk? It's not like I was at a park or anything. I'm afraid for this fucking ferret because the road's right there.
Yeah.
But I there was that, and I did see someone walk with a snake once.
Huh.
Snake.
Yeah, they had it around their shoulders, and they were just walking out of a vet
Okay.
cage.
But
I guess those are mine. Ferrets and snakes. Oh my.
I would say like I guess this counts because you got to keep in mind when I say this too. It's not really an uncommon thing, but where it was very uncommon. So
Okay.
my parents' house I grew up on was like just in the like a cul-de-sac, right? Just like normal ass suburban, street. All of a sudden one day, my mom is just like, David, come here. And then we look outside, and there's just a dude riding a horse, just walking down the street. Like it's just some normal thing at the ranch, except you got to keep in mind, this is like middle class cul-de-sac household, and just walking down like there's not a thing in the world.
Clippity-clop.
And this dude isn't like in cowboy garb. He's just in like jeans and a t-shirt. And I'm just like, I mean, I guess if you got it, flaunt it. You know what I mean? But
Where is he keeping it?
that's what I want to know. It's like,
but okay. So, what about you, Max?
I guess I have to cheat a little bit and say a little demon possessed abomination, like in form of a dog, which was my sister's dog. This is where the cheating comes in. But
oh yeah, the asshole dog.
no, older, previous generation. No, he was like this small, like kind of like a wiener dog, but with long fur.
A yipper.
Yes, but insane. Like we back in the day at my parents, there is like across the streets, and there is a train bridge, a bridge across train tracks. And on this bridge, when the train passes under, this dog, something snapped in his brain, and he is like. No, it's a white bridge, which is like exactly like back and forwards, like in a circle.
Getting the zoomies.
Running on the bridge, like from one end to the other, downwards to the trailer, like eyes wide.
Oh my god!
Like you're surprised there wasn't foam coming out the mouth at this point.
And the moment the track passes, whip, wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Hey, can we continue going? Like literally, like we hear the train, he snaps, and he's like, and if he's not on the leash,
fight or flight kicked in.
No fight, 100% fight. There's no flight.
I mean, the flight with how fast he was going.
Yeah, even when we were in the woods, like far into the woods, away from the bridge, and we like, hey, you guys hear this? Oh, it's a train coming. Unleash the dog, and like, Robin, listen. Shoo! The dog was gone, and we knew he would be waiting on the bridge for us. It was always a fun image, like imagine, like, what if just people walk over the bridge at this moment, and suddenly out of nowhere comes this ankle biter.
The fucking dog from Son of the Mask just fucking runs
running in a circle.
What abomination.
But I guess the other weird thing, and I guess this is the more mundane thing, is I never experienced a dog being at an amusement park until we went to Fantasia Land. Because that's not a normal thing here in America. Your pets stay home. But this person had this person had like 2 Basset Beagles, and I mean, I'm not going to complain. I mean, I'm sure other people will complain because I stopped the entire trip to pet these dogs. It was the best thing, too, because I was staring at them while we were walking, and Max was like, do you want to go pet the dogs? Yeah. But okay. What do we have any other Twitter questions?
Oh, we have plenty.
Cool.
We need to lightning round the shit up, and I will also sorry in advance to Brendan Kruger and J-Rock. Loving that you guys keep the Twitter going, but we gonna have to skip you today to get to some of the questions from first-time askers. Among them, Daniel B. What lessons did you take away from working on Has-Been that you are using for Far-Fetched? Very directly to you, Dave, I would say. Since I have,
do tell.
I am not credited for working on Has-Been, so it needs to remain a secret.
Listen, all of Has-Been was inspired by Max. Let's be real.
It's true. Look
I mean,
at me.
All the heights of the characters, like that's just all Max. Fun fact: the shortness of the imps were inspired by me.
Yeah, but I mean, like Blitz's asshole character. Hello. Then
there you go.
Then at the same time, what's the imps dude's guy's name?
Moxie?
Moxie.
Oh, Moxie, yeah.
Short and exasperated. Hello. But yeah, but real talk, what have you learned that you're gonna
to lightning round it, I'll what I learned a lot through is I would say a lot in pacing of scripts, because that was a big thing that I kind of took away from working on it in the writing mainly. Was just kind of trying to pace things out a little bit better, trying to give a little bit more breathing room for characters, because there's a lot of characters to juggle in that pilot to establish them all. And I would also say, like, just being more, because I learned a lot about like collaboration and the whole process of how like a big production like this is made. So going into this one, with kind of the co-creation and having my hand in kind of everything again, like with Has Been, I'm a little bit more prepared for it, and I kind of know better how to handle everything this time around to make it just more smoothly for myself. And so that's basically what I would say, is that I feel more prepared.
And of course, yeah, I'm an idiot. Of course, Has Been and Hell of a Boss are not the same show, and you worked on Has Been Hotel, and I referenced Hell of a Boss.
No, it's fine. I still love Hell of a.
Yeah.
I just I just didn't work on it, or I'm not working on it, I should say.
Yeah. Discord.
I'm back. Sorry about that.
No problem.
Yeah, Discord. Okay. Let's see. What is the nicest compliment you've received from a random person?
Who is asking that?
Odie again.
Someone
there
told
wasn't a lot of questions this week in the Discord.
Someone once tweeted at me that because I made a joke on Twitter where I said I was selling my bones for charity, and someone said, like, I bet you have the nicest bones on the internet. And I think I was very flattered by that statement, because I take good care of I scrub my bones daily to make sure they are pristine.
You take them out slowly from your mouth like a chicken, like.
Yeah, actually, I'll keep this real quick, but I have this hypothetical in which I would like to see humans having the ability that every once in a while, your skeleton just fully pulls itself out of your mouth, like Alec Baldwin in Beetlejuice, and then it just fully comes out your mouth, points at your now skin puddle on the ground, and goes asshole, and then climbs back in the way it came. And
that sounds like a great visual gag.
It is. It's a good reminder of humility for our own flesh sack, if I think about it.
That's really good. I mean, actually, I know a specific example. The last time me and Max went to Disney, you noticed that a lot of my adventures involved the German. The last time me and Max went to Disneyland before everything closed, we were at like this pizza place that was in downtown Disney. And I was like, and Max was waiting outside, and I was just sitting in the pizza place waiting for our pizzas to cook. And this random woman was like, "I love your hair." I was like, "Oh, thank you." Because I had like this like purple, blue, pink, like ombre gradient thing.
Yeah.
And she's like, "Who did it?" It was like, "Oh, I do my own hair." And she's like, "What? I'm a professional hairdresser. I've never seen someone do it on their own that looked that nice." And I just walked out smiling from ear to ear. And I think Max saw me through the window, and he's just like, "So you made a new friend?" I have that weird ability. I can start. Really, I can talk to people as if I've known them for years, but really they are just someone that we're waiting in line with to fucking Star Wars. Who ruined the flight? The pilots.
Yeah. But yeah,
I think that goes into the next question on Discord, but we'll get there. But what about you? What's the nicest compliment you've gotten from a random person?
Good question. The thing is that I am not too big on compliments, so I don't memorize them too well, I guess. Something like a random thank you if I helped somebody out probably isn't really a compliment. probably some cool shirt reaction when like, hey bro, cool shirt, when I was wearing some nerdy shirt on a con or something. Or when I was running around in my Star-Lord outfit, I believe that got some compliments. But it's, yeah.
Oh yeah. I mean, the coolest thing that happened once where a seemingly random person was our good friend now Nuka from First Science recognizing you while we were in the security for Euroferds because we were making sure that my Jinx cosplay was allowed. And that just ended with a bunch of people on security taking pictures of my cosplay, which is interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there you go. Do we have any more Twitters?
Oh, we do have more Twitters.
But let's make this fast because we're getting long.
From Lizapoo. As an inspiring showrunner myself, gotta ask Frame and Dave, what are some of the steps probably to be a showrunner? Cause I know I'm missing large parts of it. So elevator pitch how to showrun. Who wants to go first?
Dave. Guest first.
I would mainly say, and this kind of reiterates a little bit back to the earlier question, but I would mainly say is that having an understanding of how to balance all these different tasks you have to do and still being very communicative with the people you work with is very important. Because when you have your hands as a showrunner in kind of every aspect of production, you obviously have to have knowledge of everything in that conglomerate, but you also have to be very communicative to everybody. So, like, I know for me, like, my strengths are in stuff like writing, music, and voice direction. While, like, with I'm working with Ashley, hers is in, like, storyboarding, animation, and design. So we have kind of, through this process, learned bits of stuff that we haven't learned before so that I can have a full grasp of everything so I can talk to anybody you produce with and be able to kind of, work alongside with. I think that's what's important.
Yeah, I mean, I would just echo Dave. It's like many things on this cast so far. I'm echoing Dave, but no, it's just really that. It's the thing of a showrunner is really a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing.
Yes,
and you need to be open to hearing other people. Because a showrunner that's stuck in his or her or their own head is it's not a showrunner, it's an insane person.
Yes. and I understand that it is tough sometimes because I struggle with this, is that if you love what you're doing, which you should, it's sometimes hard to like let all your ideas differ than what you have in your head. But sometimes you have to make compromises, and you just have to.
Sometimes you have to throw the baby. Like,
yes, yes.
But yes. Okay, good question. So here's another one from Discord from Succulent. Thank you for the name.
Oh God.
What's one time you got heavily roasted by someone? So when was the time you've gotten roasted? So there was this 3-year-old at Star Wars Land.
Oh yeah.
Look,
all these things
I know
seem
that
to happen at Disney World for you.
Look, it's the happiest place on earth. No, look, I'm sure there's other times where I've been roasted over an open fire, but this one hits the most.
It was legendary.
We were on the Millennium Falcon ride, and if you don't know how the ride works, there's like 2 seats for pilots, 2 for gunners, 1 for engineer, and me and Max were the pilots, and we've never ridden this ride before, and we sucked. And there was this mom with her 3-year-old kid who was like in the back doing the engineering stuff, which is the easiest task. And when we were walking out, the mom said, "Who crashed the who crashed the ship, Billy?" His name wasn't Billy. The pilots! And we're right behind this family, and I'm just like, Max, did we just get roasted by a toddler?
Yup.
It's just, and to this day, almost a year later, I still think about that at least once a month of Jesus Christ. So that's mine.
Ooh. You know what I would say? It's the roasting thing is tough for me because I have publicly from time to time just gone online and say, go ahead and roast me because I think it's funny. So I won't take from those. What I will take is the strangest occurrence I've ever had of a threat.
Okay.
And it was not on the internet. It was in real life. And it was when I worked at because I mentioned earlier in the show that I've worked a lot of butcher shops in my life. I worked at a meat market in Burbank, which is a small one. And just one day, because we would do barbecue meat there too, and we had run out of barbecue brisket. And this old lady, she genuinely must have been in like her mid-70s. Like she looked like B. Arthur. And she came up to the counter and she's like, do you have any more brisket? And I'm like, I'm sorry, man, we're all out right now. And then she just looked me dead in the eye while smiling and said, if I had a gun, I would shoot you right now.
Thank you for being a friend.
America! Fuck yeah.
And it's like, I know that she was being facetious, but just I didn't know how, like, this conflict of emotions she was giving me. Like, I had, like, this, like, breaking of gears in my cerebral, and I just didn't know what to do. So I was just like,
good one,
that's
Janice.
like the little that's like the little hippo in Zootopia that says, Mommy said she wishes you would die.
Yeah, exactly.
Just, oh my God.
Yeah. Max,
can you top that?
I cannot top this. I mean, I was already like, which of the previous 163 episodes of this show should I just name? But no, I had one epic roast. I had one.
Oh yeah.
Which was like, I one day I need to see if I can find this transcript of it. It was beautiful. So. In my back in my days, I was trying my hands on a fan fiction, self-insert kind of. But the thing is, I tried to cram the entire. Oh, it's the
cloud one.
Yes, I tried to cram. I wanted to write about the silly adventures my OC has, but then I was like, oh yeah, why? I wanted to kind of give a background, so I wanted to write a prologue which covers the entire backstory of his parents and whatnot in just the prologue, like cram it in there. And then it kind of evolved, and while writing it I became more and more ideas, and the story of the parents became super intricate in its own thing. And so I gave this to our friend Cloud Cuckoo Country, self-proclaimed literature snob. I can link his YouTube down below. He is
our favorite Harry Potter fan.
We had him on the show here, and he went nuts for 10 minutes, like ranting about Harry Potter and how trash it is. It was beautiful.
Not J.K. Rowling. Just Harry Potter.
Yeah, the actual novel. He was shitting on the actual novel. I believe I was like, oh yeah, Fantastic Beasts is pretty shit. He's like, what are you talking about? The entire series is trash.
So yeah, and then when we made the joking insinuation that he loves Harry Potter, he was like, no, you don't besmirch me, in his posh Australian voice. Just,
oh my God, my partner in college would have killed this man because their life was Harry Potter.
They were a full-on Potterhead.
Yeah, big time.
I'm a Potterhead, but I could laugh it off. It was amazing.
Yeah,
they broke up with me at the premiere of the final film. No joke. This is not a joke.
Snape died, and so did your relationship.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cloud once gave. So I sent to him because he was the most literal, and I actually did fanfiction reviews, like videos with him together in cooperation. So I knew that he is not completely uninterested in fanfiction, even though he usually considers them below his level, whatever.
His level,
yeah. But I sent him like, hey, can you give me some feedback on this? And I sent him this crammed together thing, like, which was supposed to be the prologue and not even the first proper chapter. And he was like, I believe he was still trying to give me a way out and be like, okay, here, do you really want to have honest feedback? And I'm like, yeah, please give me honest feedback. And for 5 minutes he destroyed me. He like, it's absolute garbage. This is you hit all the points why fan fictions are trash and have a bad rap, and this is shit, and this is awkward and brown. He completely.
It was no Alien versus Predator.
No.
I remember you telling me about this, and I was like, man.
I was so flat.
It was
flustered. No, what do you call it again? When you are completely like, whoa, afterwards.
Overwhelmed?
Flabbergasted?
Flabbergasted. I was
like,
so. I mean, I was not angry with him. I asked for it and he delivered. And
the TV tropes page of the reason you suck speech should have had this as the picture.
Yeah,
oh my god.
Yes, and I needed this. I needed this wake up call, and I started rewriting it. Sadly, I never finished it because after getting my head put on right by him, after that I actually put more effort into it. I sat down with other writers, I actually got advice, I got proofreaders and whatnot, and I planned the entire thing out, and it became its own proper standalone story and not a prologue throw in there chapter. But
then it just kind of fizzled like some things do.
As so many.
But yeah, do we have any more Twitter questions? Because we're nearing.
Okay, I have one more Twitter, and then we can go FMK, which lets us end on a double enigma. To just have a question that gets a little bit the silly going. By enigma, if you were a superhero or villain, what's the dumbest way you get your powers? Dumbest backstory that made you become that person, and ridiculous way you created your arch nemesis. I guess we can probably focus on the potential dumbest way.
Origin story.
Either the dumbest possible origin story, the dumbest possible way to get your powers, or the dumbest possible way to create your arch nemesis. One of those three. You can pick to what you want to answer.
The origin story is easy because I always say with every single one of these fucking superhero questions is that I want to have the power of mind control. But I'll just say that I watched enough. I would just say my origin story is just I was watching YouTube one random night and lightning struck my computer and suddenly I had the power of influence over the entire world.
I'm trying to think. It would probably be something along the lines of like, I was walking down the street one day and a man pulled a gun and shot, and suddenly I had the power of death. or it's like, okay, like, congratulations.
Max tried to eat some curry he left out one night, and a parasite went in him that gave him the power of shape-shifting.
Actually, my answer I wanted to give.
You nailed it.
There goes my throwback joke. This was the one I had an answer, and I am not creative enough to have a second good answer. So I guess we are moving on to the F, M, and K.
I'm also impressed with myself.
All I expect now is the comic book on my desk by Monday. That's what I'm expecting.
The comic can be called Currywurst.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Oh my god! I didn't intend.
Protagonist's name has to be Kyle Katsu. Like
Kyle Katsu.
Where's
our Kickstarter?
Odie just points out. Congratulations, Keyframe. You can read minds through the internet already.
That's your power.
You just demonstrated you already have your superpower.
I mean, it's totally not because I've been with this dumbass for 7 years, so I just know him at this point. But you know what? Sure, I can read everyone's mind. Dave is just thinking, when does this end?
Exactly. After the following FMK. There we go.
All right. So, Energize Enigmatic asks, we are in Black History Month. So if this is the only FMK for this specific month, say we do this in the best with the best of them, because there's a lot of great folks of color and they deserve their due. Even even if one of the circumstances they have to die.
I just wanted
So
to
fuck,
say.
marry, kill. BHM candidates. LeBron James, Basketball Hall of Famer and star of Space Jam 2. Michael B. Jordan, amazing movie actor and co-actor in Black Panther, also big anime fan. And Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, wrestling strongman and grand celebrity. Wait. Dwayne isn't black. He's Polynesian, isn't he? Because he's Hawaiian.
I mean,
because he was the character in the Moana, right?
Yeah, he was Maui.
Yeah.
Like he's actually like a descendant of an actual like chieftain in Hawaii. You know what? We'll just count him. He's still a person of color.
I want to
There you
count
go.
The Rock just because of the wrestling association.
It is The Rock. Do you smell what he is cooking?
I do indeed. It smells like a convoluted choice.
Yes, but Dave, you are our lovely guest, so you get first pickings.
yeah.
Oh God! All right. Okay. Well, first of all, the obvious answer is to marry The Rock because the dude is loaded beyond belief. Because like
You have a fellow gold digger on the show, Key.
I do. Listen here. No. Look, I'm a romantic type, but like
But
The Rock also. Everything I've seen from him is he's a sweetheart. Like, also, he would probably help me get in better shape, you know, because that dude works out like every day. God, I'm trying to think. Oh, this is tough. You know what? I'm gonna give a cop-out answer here, partly because I am a LeBron fan, so I guess I'd fuck LeBron. And Michael B. Jordan is a cool guy, but I don't know enough about him, and that's probably the only reason I'd put a bullet between his eyes.
It's fair.
You're going to do what happened to him in Black Panther.
Yes. You know what? I would do it. He would understand for that bit. It's like I'm a big Black Panther fan, so I'm going to take you out the same way.
All right. Well, Max, what is your what do you take as sloppy seconds?
I guess there's only one solution I can go with.
What, that fucks me over?
Given the setup, because I could not in a million years kill Dwayne The Rock Johnson. So obviously I'm gonna
you are a
fuck him.
clone of Jane.
Exactly.
You are a clone of Dwayne.
That is a good point, where it's like, if you tried to kill The Rock, he would just punch you and you'd explode.
Potentially.
You know what I mean?
No,
like,
all he has to do is
Keyframe
is
answers.
this.
Yeah.
No, but I could not, and but a chance to get with Dwayne The Rock Johnson intimately, to get him, like I would. I guess I would go gay for the man. Yeah, I would fuck Dwayne The Rock Johnson, which then forces me to kill, what's his name again?
LeBron James?
LeBron James, because, sorry, not into sports. If you would
But Space Jam 2!
I know it, but I mean, this might actually be one more reason to kill him. I mean...
he's bringing back Lola Bunny. You should respect him.
The opposite. He is competition when it comes to Lola. I already need to get rid of Bugs Bunny to get to Lola, and I also need to get through to an actual
insinuating athlete. LeBron James is gonna date Lola Bunny.
I mean,
no, he's gonna date inflated Wayne Newton.
Wow. But no, if he has good taste, then yes, he would go for Lola Bunny. But yeah, and this leaves me to marry Jordan. No, wait, Michael B. Jordan. What?
Michael B. Jordan. You're marrying Killmonger.
Yeah. I mean, we can plot together how to. Then again, if I actually would marry Killmonger and not Michael, then he would probably kill me, because he is like against the suppressors, and I would be a suppressor. But still, I mean.
You could talk about anime together, because he's a big weeb.
Nice. Yeah, you see, that's perfect marriage material right there. So, Keyframe, tell us why you killed The Rock.
Oh no. How would I kill The Rock?
That's the You know what? That's the question here. Is that it's you?
Yeah,
would
it's
do
not
it.
why. It's how.
You wouldn't. Yeah, you'd probably end up dead.
Okay, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna put a shiny Susan B. Anthony dollar coin on the corner of a street, and he's going to see it. He's going to be like, well, you don't see that every day. Picks it up and drop a piano on his head.
Okay.
Just
The
one normal
Yakko, the
piano.
Yakko Warner approach.
Yes, exactly. Though knowing Dwayne, it probably would just go through him, but you know what? Let's believe that he has something that resembles a real person. Okay, so that means I'm gonna fuck Michael B. Jordan. I don't need an explanation.
No,
Look at the
no,
man.
Yeah,
No,
absolutely
he is
with
a
you.
good-looking
Yeah,
guy.
no,
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah. No.
Like,
Yeah, you
no,
don't need. You don't need to talk. You don't need to justify.
I know.
It. You just look
Yeah,
at the man. Done.
Just look at him. Yeah.
Done.
And then I'm going to fuck LeBron James
Did
because.
you just fuck him? No, you
Wait, you
marry
can't
him.
fuck.
Oh yeah,
both.
no. I'm gonna marry LeBron James because, you know what? A basketball player makes a good amount of money, and just look.
And
If I marry, I'll marry LeBron James, so that way I can go into the Looney Tunes universe, and that way I can just live my true life of living with cartoon characters.
You see, and I was so wrong. I thought you were going for him because then, by association, you could be considered taller.
And that's our show.
A and Y and Key say hi to the people in the chat. The memes are seen on this live stream as they talk about random grabs. Time for awkward gags. It's the awkward. Random guests and funny gags on the awkward gags. It's the awkward. Artwork and analysis, which you do not want